Hand-carved 616 traditional Chinese fonts on an area equivalent to the half-grain rice. The size of this grain of rice is 6.25 times 2.99 millimeters. The entire handmade micro-carving is equivalent to the size of the rice grain area. It includes 629 traditional Chinese fonts, 2 seals and a beauty who plays the pipa. Hand-carved 616 traditional Chinese fonts on an area about half the size of a grain of rice. The size of this sesame is 3.62 times 2.1 millimeters. In an area a little larger than sesame, 616 traditional Chinese fonts were hand-carved. A beautiful woman playing pipa, 13 Chinese fonts and 2 seals were hand-carved on an area smaller than sesame seeds. The size of the entire handmade micro-carving is only 6.37 times 3.41 square millimeters. The size of the entire hand-carved is only 5.79 times 2.82 square millimeters. It includes 629 traditional Chinese fonts, 2 seals and a beauty who plays the pipa. The engraving area of 616 traditional Chinese fonts is only 2.82 millimeters in diameter, that is, the area is 6.25 square millimeters. The size of the beautiful woman playing the pipa is only 2.75 times 1.33 square millimeters, including the beautiful woman and the pipa. The size of the pipa is only 1 square millimeter. On the right is a hand-carved font on human hair. The width of human hair is generally about 0.1 millimeters, and the widest is about 0.17 millimeters. It is difficult to engrave fonts on hair with a width of less than 0.08 millimeters. The width of pig bristles is generally about 0.25 millimeters. 100 traditional Chinese fonts were hand-carved in 1 square millimeter, with a total of 924 strokes. "100 traditional Chinese fonts were hand-carved in 1 square millimeter, with a total of 968 strokes. "100 traditional Chinese fonts were hand-carved in 1 square millimeter, with a total of 1007 strokes. More. The perfect drawings are hand-carved on extremely small areas, such as smaller than rice grains, smaller than sesame seeds, and even within square millimeters. When the micro-carving is enlarged to a 4K picture, the first impression you might think is a perfect drawing, but they are indeed incomparable micro-carvings.